You are now listening to Handsome Reads. Now tell me something. Tell me something. You there? Between now and today, when are you going to start to do the things that make your soul thrive? When? 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 Tell me. What we waiting on? No time like the present. Just some food for thought. But hey, greetings, beautiful people. Welcome back to another esteemed episode of Handsome Reads with your host, 𝐓𝐘𝐒. Of course, gentle reminder, feel free to call me Handsome for short. I mean, there is, of course, the off chance we may bounce up, passing each other by in the mall or the street, or just hail me. Hey, Handsome. I'll give you the peace sign and ask you how you're going. Feel free to come up and talk to me. Let's have a conversation, because it's not just a handsome face telling your stories. It's a real thing. This is a bond that you and I have. We good, you know. You and I, we real good. We may not know each other personally, but we good. And I want you to feel that vibe. It's just a relaxing vibe in a real cool, chill, warm, welcoming, and relaxing space. So, that being said, we're gonna jump right in to season 2. Don't forget, if this is the first time that you are crash landing on the YouTube page or coming across this on a Spotify podcast, there is an entire season 1 called The Martin Brothers for you to check out. It's definitely linked in the description or some one of these corners. Alright? But for those that are up to the times, we're gonna start off with the prologue for season 2, entitled All a Matter of Perspective. Location: training grounds. 1 year ago. Again came the stern order. His side burned, a fresh wash of blood coating the bandage around his midsection. Do you think this is pain? No, mortal. You have felt nothing yet, came a voice from above where he lay, breathless. The younger of the pair blew out a hard breath, tilting his chin, even as his insides screamed. You keep thinking of pain in mortal terms, yet you are no longer fully mortal. Aye, sire. Breathing deeply, the youth rose to his feet before sinking into a fighting stance once more. There was no point in dusting off the gravel that clung to his body. He knew it would be mere moments before he found that he was right back there, laying in the dirt again. He launched himself at the older man who stood before him. He could not, would not stop. Not when the alternative was certain death. His body spun on its heel, the force of the blow to his jaw freezing his attack. Putting up a valiant effort to shake off the blow, he kicked out blindly in the vicinity of the older man, who caught his leg in a pair of forceful hands and twisted. That pitiless wrenching of his ankle caused him to cry out in pain. Angels are faster and stronger than you can currently imagine. To survive, you must imagine greater. Yes, sire, the young man replied, breathing past the pain. Stand up, the older man commanded. On what? My uncle is like glass at the moment, the youth responded, his Russian accent coming through heavier in his frustration. Imagine greater. Now stand up. Fine, the young man thought. Let us try it your way. Closing his eyes, he imagined his body free of pain and more powerful than he had ever felt. Pushing to his feet, the bare-chested young man subconsciously prepared for the onslaught of pain as he rested his weight upon his injured foot. His eyes snapped open in shock, only to latch on to the warm, swirling brown of his tutor's eyes. The signature buttoned blazer his tormentor wore earlier was neatly folded in half and draped over one arm. So you see, 𝐓𝐷𝐘𝐒, you are no longer completely human. Fear not, the older man added after a pause. In the coming months, you will become even stronger, and your perception of life shall change. The young man's breath grew harsher as excitement bubbled within him. What was this? Who was he to receive such a blessing? Oh, and not to worry. When your training is complete, the first order of business will be to right an injustice. The man spoke with a menacing glint in his eye. Anything, sir. Anything, for I owe you my very life. I know, the man in dark brown chocolate hat, though covered in dust, replied. Come, 𝐓𝐷𝐾𝐒, show me what you have learned. He beckoned, no change in his casual stance. His teacher's blazer still hung over one arm, feet shoulder width apart, free hand beckoning the mortal, who was not so mortal anymore, into striking range. This time, the young Russian went willingly. For what seemed like hours later, Henri looked down upon the now sleeping young man as his body recuperated. 𝐓𝐷𝐾𝐒's body bore many bruises of different shades upon his pale skin, yet Henri knew they would all be non-existent by morning. This young one has a nice fighting spirit, the older man thought to himself. Russians, even the Russians living away from their motherland, seem to possess this same ferocity. The flow of the young man's mother tongue in his moments of frustration reminded Henri of another Russian woman he had once saved. She was now the proud mother to 3 adopted children while living out her retirement in the twin island Caribbean Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, Henri mused to himself, Russians were bred differently. Even those angels who observed and oversaw that part of the world held this same, similar fighting spirit. There must be something in the water. Turning away from the recovering young man, who was yet to take up his position as aide to a fallen angel, Henri slid into the familiar comfort of his tailored blazer, ebony in color, before sliding a matching fedora onto his head. In this chess match of immortals, one that found Henri currently exiled from even his own fallen brethren, 𝐓𝐷𝐾𝐒 could well come to play the pivotal role of a bishop. Henri stepped out into the cool embrace of the night, his weak, immortal body feeling none of its chill, as his measured gait carried him to his next destination. End of episode. You already know how we spend our time. Short and super, super sweet. Thank you very much for stopping by. I hope that this prologue has done nothing but piqued your interest. And I look forward to seeing you at our next appointed time. Until then, continue taking great care of yourself. And as always, love and light.